Okay, so if you've been watching Bridgerton Season 4 and you're completely obsessed with Benedict and Sophie, first of all, same. And second of all, Luke Thompson and Yerin Ha just sat down and gave us all the details about their most talked about moments this season. And honestly, this interview did not disappoint. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to The Central, your #1 spot for all things celebrity and pop culture. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we cover everything you need to know about your favorite stars. Today we're diving deep into Luke Thompson and Yerin Ha's exclusive interview about Bridgerton Season 4. The bathtub scene, the queer storyline, the painting, the wedding, all of it. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about where all of this started, the world premiere in Paris, back in January 2026. And Luke Thompson admitted that walking into that event, he genuinely didn't know how he was going to feel. He's been playing Benedict for nearly 7 years, so you'd think by now he'd be used to the spotlight. But this was different. This was his season, his moment. And he said the second he and Yerin stepped out and felt that crowd energy, something completely shifted. He described it as a homecoming, and that makes so much sense when you find out he was actually brought up in France. So imagine having your biggest career moment happen in the country where you grew up. That's just full circle in the most beautiful way. And the love from fans hasn't stopped since. Luke and Yerin have been getting stopped by doormen, showing up on talk shows, and apparently the internet is just drowning in fan edits of them. Which, honestly, fair. Yerin even has a favorite Sophie meme, and it's the ones where fans stitch the "Be My Mistress" line from that iconic staircase moment with Eloise's signature frown face. She said she just loves how creative the fandom gets, and you can tell she genuinely means it. There's something really sweet about a celebrity who actually goes online and appreciates what fans are doing, rather than just ignoring it. But beyond the memes and the edits, Yerin spoke about something much deeper. The way fans are actually connecting with Sophie as a character. She talked about how people are reaching out to say they see themselves in Sophie, that they feel worthy of love because of her, and that it's okay to be strong and soft at the same time. And Yerin said that's honestly all you can hope for as an actor. When a character does that for someone, when they make a real person feel seen, that's when the work actually means something. And I think that's exactly why Benophie has hit so differently this season. Okay, now let's talk about the scene. The bathtub scene. Because we all know it's been all over TikTok and social media since Part 2 dropped. And for good reason. Luke described it as deeply romantic. And here's the detail that got me. He pointed out that water has been a thread running through Benedict and Sophie's entire relationship, from the very beginning. Their very first conversation was literally about wading in deeper and shallow water. So the fact that they end up in a bathtub together, just the two of them in their own little world, that's not an accident. That's intentional, beautiful storytelling. And Yerin put it perfectly. She said it's like Benedict washing all of Sophie's troubles away. For a woman who has spent her whole life carrying pain alone, and never feeling truly cared for, having someone pamper her in that way, it's not just romantic, it's healing. Now this next part is one of the most talked about scenes of the season, and I think it deserves a real conversation. In episode 6, Benedict opens up to Sophie about his past, including his past relationships with both men and women. And what Luke said about this scene is so important. He was very clear that this isn't Benedict confessing something he's been anxious about. It's not a secret he needed to get off his chest. It's him choosing to be completely honest with Sophie as a gesture of love and trust. And Yerin said, Sophie just accepts him entirely. His past doesn't faze her because it's him, and she sees him for exactly who he is. Showrunner Jess Brownell also spoke about this and made the point that just because Benedict ends up in a relationship that looks heterosexual on the surface, that doesn't erase his queerness. His identity is still fully part of who he is. Luke said he hopes viewers see themselves in how Benedict approaches intimacy, Not boxed in, not anxious, not repressed, just open. And honestly, that's a refreshing kind of male character we don't see enough of on television. So let's get into how Benedict and Sophie actually get their happy ending, because it is not easy. Benedict brings Sophie to a conservatory and shows her a hand-drawn sketch of his country estate, My Cottage. Except he's changed the name to Our Cottage. I mean, come on. If that doesn't make you feel something, then I don't know what will. But of course there are still real obstacles. Class divides, Sophie's secret identity, and the fact that Araminta has been lying and manipulating everyone for years. And it's actually Benedict who figures it out. He's the one who realizes the story never added up, and that Araminta must have been controlling things this whole time. Eventually the Bridgertons bring the situation to Queen Charlotte herself, presenting Sophie as a distant cousin of Lord Penwood, and Queen Charlotte, charmed by the whole theatrics of it, accepts it. Just like that, Sophie has a place in the ton. Yerin said something really beautiful about this moment. She said Sophie has spent her entire life giving grace and kindness to everyone around her, and to finally receive that back, to be accepted and protected, is everything. And then Benedict proposes, in the middle of the Queen's ball, because why do anything small when you're a Bridgerton, right? Luke talked about how the death of Lord John Sterling earlier in the season was actually a turning point for Benedict. He's always been someone who defers, who delays, who avoids commitment. But losing someone that close made him realize that life is short and can be taken away at any moment. So he stops waiting. And then in the final scene, a gorgeous mid-credits surprise. Benedict and Sophie get married at our cottage, surrounded by the Bridgertons and all the people who matter to Sophie. And hanging inside the estate is a painting of Sophie as the Lady in Silver, signed by Benedict himself. He's back to his art, and she is his muse. Luke said the symbolism of that finished painting is everything. It means Benedict finally took something all the way to its completion instead of giving up. And for Sophie, it means she no longer has to hide. The woman who spent her life trying to be invisible is now the focal point of the room. Yerin said it's a really powerful message, that you don't have to know your place and shrink yourself. You are worthy of being seen. And honestly, that is the kind of ending that gets you. Luke Thompson and Yerin Ha absolutely delivered this season, and it's clear from every word they said in this interview that they understood exactly what this story meant. Not just for the show, but for the people watching it. If you haven't finished Season 4 yet, go watch it right now, because that ending hits different when you know all of this. And if you want more Bridgerton coverage, including Season 5 updates as they drop, make sure you're subscribed and have the notification bell on, because we are not letting anything slip through. Drop a comment below. Did Benophie live up to the hype for you?